Dark spirits awakens when you beat the drum after midnight. Once upon a time, in the ancient village of Ekumbana, drums ruled the night. The people of Ekumbana believed that the sound of the drum carried messages from their ancestors, binding the world of the living to the world of the spirits. Every month, on the night of the full moon, the villagers would gather for the great drum ceremony, led by the wise elder King Tebo. His hands, wrinkled with age, could play rhythms that brought both joy and fear, laughter and tears. But there was a legend that haunted the people of Ekumbana, the legend of the drums of darkness. It was said that in a long time past, a group of villagers dared to play the drums at midnight, summoning dark spirits who took revenge on the entire village. From that night forward, the village elders forbade anyone from playing the drums after the midnight hour, lest they awaken the spirits again. But there was a young man named Tebo, the best drummer Ekumbana had ever known. Tebo had a proud heart, too proud to fear old stories. Though he respected King Tebo, he secretly believed that the elders' warning about the drum of darkness were just stories meant to keep children in line. One night, after the great drum ceremony had ended, Tebo sat in the moonlight staring at the largest drum left outside by the fire. His fingers itched to play it. The sounds from earlier echoed in his mind, calling him, tempting him. He wanted to create his own rhythm, one so powerful it would echo across the land. Tebo, leave the drum be, a villager warned, seeing his longing gaze. The drums must sleep, as we all must. But Tebo ignored the villager and waited until everyone was asleep. Then with a racing heart, he slipped out of his hut, silently, creeping towards the large drum that still glistened under the moon's light. The night was eerily quiet, and Tebo raised his hands and let them fall on the drum's skin. A deep, resonant beat filled the air, echoing off the trees and the huts. The sound was like thunder, yet it was beautiful, powerful, something that filled Tebo's heart with excitement. He kept drumming, faster and louder, lost in his own world. But he did not notice how the night grew colder, or how the shadows seemed to thicken around him, creeping closer with each beat. Nor did he see the faint mist that had begun to gather at the edge of the village, slithering along the ground like a serpent. From his hut, King Tebo awoke to the sound. He knew immediately what was happening. Grabbing his staff, he hurried outside, his heart heavy with fear. "Tebo," he cried out, his voice cutting through the night. But Tebo was lost in his rhythm, his eyes closed, hands moving faster and faster. He could not hear King Tebo's desperate calls. And then, the last beat echoed and faded. Tebo opened his eyes, feeling a chill settle over him. The village was silent, too silent. Shadows closed in around him, and his heartbeat quickened as he saw figures emerging from the mist, tall, dark shapes with hollow eyes and mouths twisted in pains. The spirits who had once been wronged. They surrounded Tebo, their eyes filled with ancient hatred. Tebo trembled, his courage vanishing. He tried to move, but his feet as heavy as stones.
Why? Why have you summoned us?
One spirit whispered, its voice like dry leaves rustling in the wind.
We were resting, but now we are awakened.
I didn't mean to, Tebo stammered, his voice barely a whisper. The spirit moved closer, their faces twisted with sorrow and anger.
We were taken from this world too soon by people who beat drums as you did. At an hour when drums must be silenced, we wait for revenge.
Kinto, watching from a distance, raised his staff and began chanting, hoping to protect Tebo, to drive the spirits back to their world. But he was old and his power was fading. He could see that it was too late. With a last mournful look, the spirits reached out, wrapping Tebo in shadows, pulling him into the mist. His screams echoed through the night, but no one dared to come close. Slowly, the mist faded and the spirits were gone, along with Tebo. The village remained silent, shivering in fear as dawn approached. When the sun rose, Kinto gathered the villagers to tell them what had happened. He stood by the ashes of the fire, his face full of sorrow and exhaustion. "Let this be a warning," he said, his voice heavy with grief. "Our ancestors gave us this tradition, not as chains, but as protection. Pride and curiosity are powerful, but they can lead us down dark paths. Tebo's pride cost him his life." The people wept, both for Tebo and for the fear that his disobedience had stirred in their hearts. From that day forward, they vowed to honor the old ways, knowing that some rules were written in wisdom, not fear. Moral of the story: sometimes ancient rules and traditions hold truths that cannot be explained by words alone. Pride and defiance of these rules may lead to unintended consequences. It is wise to respect the boundaries set by those who came before us, for they learned from their own mistakes. Thank you for watching, and please, if this is your first time of coming across us, don't fail to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that when I post a new video, you would be the first to watch. And if you're already an existing subscriber, hi, thanks for being here. Keep watching as I promise to always bring interesting stories that will keep you entertained and relaxed. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye.